Alright, welcome to a video on parallel and perpendicular lines. It's wonderful, it's the summer, the corn is growing, the humidity has my nose all stuffy. So, we're first going to talk about some parallel lines. So we need to know that parallel lines never touch. That's what parallel means. They're never going to touch. Forever and ever and ever. And they have the same slope, but a different y-intercept. So if our original equation is y equals mx plus b, then our parallel line is still going to have the y equals mx, but instead of a b, we're just going to pick another number that's not b. Now, as you do these problems, for me, you're going to have to create some slope-intercept forms. I'm not always going to just give you the slope-intercept form, so you're going to have to recall and use that skill you previously went over to do that. So, for example, if we have, y equals 3/4 x plus 2, and we just want to write equation of a parallel line. So we're going to write the equation of a parallel line. First thing to note, they have the same slope. So my m equals 3/4. They have a different intercept. So I can't pick plus 2. So when I write my new equation, it's going to be y equals 3/4 x, and then I can pick any number I want that's not plus 2, plus 1. That's it. That's all you got to do. Now, of course, you may have to actually create that equation and find it and everything, but that is the basics, bare bones thing we have here. So now let's talk about perpendicular lines. So perpendicular lines create a 90-degree intersection. So it's like a four-way stop. And they have an opposite reciprocal slope. And the y-intercept doesn't really matter. We can pick any y-intercept. It's the slope that has to change. And whenever I say opposite, I mean the opposite side. And when I say reciprocal, I mean we flip the fraction. So we're talking about the slope here. We have to make it opposite and flip the fraction. So for here, for example, so this is our first example all written out. If we start out with y equals 1/2 x plus 2, our slope is 1/2. It becomes the opposite, so it becomes negative. So it becomes a negative 1/2, and then we flip the 1 and the 2. So the 2 goes to the top, the 1 goes to the bottom. Just keep that negative with the top number the whole time. Just keep the negative with the top the whole time. And that's the reciprocal part. Then we can just put it into a new equation. Let's do another example, because this always seems to trick people up, is whenever we have something like a negative 3x minus 1. So my original slope here is -3 divided by 1. Remember, if there's no division there, it's divided by 1. We need it to become the opposite. So the opposite of -3 is +3 divided by 1. You don't give the negative to the bottom. It just stays, the whole thing becomes positive. So this is our opposite part. And then our reciprocal part means we flip them. So it becomes 1 divided by 3. So that's our reciprocal part. So we can say y equals 1/3 x, and then you can pick any number you want. You can keep the -1, or you can call it +7. So there are our parallel and perpendicular lines.